Hello and welcome to a scene for Hong Kong House of Cards. Today, Kitty is seeking out Ashes, and I call her Kitty because she goes by many names, but she is currently looking somewhat like a kitty. So Ashes, I'm not entirely sure what Ashes is up to at this point.
She's probably just chilling at the Sept, hanging around in Lupus. She's probably, yeah, just returned back, actually, so.
Cool. Well, there is a small blue kitten heading in your direction. And as well as being blue, you can tell that it is a female kitten, which is usually hard to tell with kittens.
Huh.
Just
Interesting.
something about the way she looks, you can just tell that she is a she.
Hmm. She cocks her head, noting it, like, walking towards her. Just, like, watches it, curiously, because it's a kitten.
Yep, it is. It is a kitten that is walking right up to Ashes and sitting in front of her.
When it sits down in front of her, she'll bring her nose down and give it a small sniff
And
and
the
a
kitty will
tiny
sniff
little
right.
edge. What was that?
The kitty will sniff right back.
Oh, all right. She'll give it a gentle nudge with her nose because she knows it's a kitten. So,
Yep, and it will raise one paw and pat her on the nose.
uh, she cocks her head at the paw and the nose.
And then the kitty will stand up and stretch as tall as it can to try and rub its little tiny kitty cheek against Ash's cheek.
She'll give it a lick.
And as it rubs its cheek against your cheek, you'll just hear mine.
Hmm? The confused dog, wolf noise. Hmm?
And then it will just give you a look as if to say, is there a problem?
She doesn't look like there's a problem. She just looks confused, and she'll give it another gentle and but playful nudge with the nose.
and it will nudge her back with its nose. And then it is, because you're in the sept and you're quite far away from anything that needs to worry about, going to change. And it is now a somewhat bigger cat.
She like sits down and like looks at it again, like really confused. And then she'll give it another gentle nudge with her nose. A little, I mean, it's not as gentle as the kitten nudge, but it's still gentle.
Yep. And the cat is going to purr and is going to lick your nose, which is not as comfortable as when dogs lick your nose because kitty tongues are a bit rougher, but it's not painful rough.
It just feels funny. She'll just kind of like after it licks her nose because it feels funny, she'll like rub it in her rub it like on the side of her leg, like weird.
And the cat will purr, and you'll hear, you didn't have a totem. So I
No.
couldn't do.
You did. And I see that you're feline, but who are you?
I have lots of names. You can call me Bast.
you've sought me out because I don't have a totem?
Most of your Sentai didn't have a totem.
No, we don't.
And you can notice the past tense in that one.
Great.
I found Shu and Charlie and Fang.
Oh. I see, there's a few left, I see, but... Are they out of character? I suppose we're the only ones without personal totems, correct?
Fang had a personal totem.
Oh, okay.
And Adrena doesn't.
Okay.
But it's partly to do with who's been online, to be honest.
Right. So yeah, there's...
But to be fair, with Fang, she didn't just kind of rub her cheek against her and say mine. She did question the mine first.
Right.
Because Fang already had a totem.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So she just kind of she wags her tail a little bit. Like and
there's an island you're supposed to be looking after. It's curious.
Yes. There's a Kitten there that we took from the Black Spiral Dancers.
I can help you keep it. But there is a deal.
What's the deal?
Well, there is a gift I can teach where you can rub things and make them yours. And I can teach a bigger version of this for a single use, but I want something in return. The only problem is that that is a secret. And it needs to be from one of the women in your Sentai.
Oh. She like cocks her head like curiously and like a wolfy like as raised of a eyebrow as a wolf can get, like.
Yep. There is a time limit.
What is the time limit?
Well, if I'm to do this, I need to do it in 5 days' time.
Understood. Sentai needs to get to work on this. Just make a decision.
Any one of the women in your Sentai can do it. I did give the coyote a little bit of a secret about preferences, but it is up to you to decide who it will be.
Okay. I suppose the ladies and I have to talk.
That would be wise.
She nods. And, oh man. Hold on a second. Okay. So she just kind of, again, because she's in lupus, and she gives the feline gentle little nudge and with the nose, trying to get a better. She actually does want to get a sniff, like.
Well, you can get a sniff. It smells. It smells cat-like, but not like an ordinary cat. Because, as you've probably worked out by now, there's definitely a spirit.
Not right. Most.
It also smells, as well as cat, there's also tiger, and for some weird reason, water buffalo. And woman.
She's looking confused by the smells, but you smell like not just like a cat.
Because I am not just a cat.
She nods.
Just as you are not just a wolf.
True. And at that, she'll actually, I'll just burn a rage and shift to Hamid. And pet the cat.
And the cat will purr and let you pet her. Because why not?
Because cats need to be pet. Sometimes.
Sometimes, yes. And other times you allow it to be precisely 3 times.
Get precisely 3 pets.
No more, no less. Precisely 3 times.
What happens if I try for a 4th?
Well, this time she's letting you.
Okay.
Other times, when she will only allow it precisely 3 times.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah. She tends to either change forms or bite people.
Well, I'm glad that she doesn't bite me or change on me.
Yeah.
And I'll take it for what it is.
Look, she's a cat.
Yep. I'm still just like sitting here like I'm petting a cat.
Yep. Petting a cat that has just walked up and claimed you.
Yep. As a kitten.
Yep.
Yep. Aw, little cat. It's just too cute to not want to just sit there and pet it.
Well, it will quite happily sit there for about 5 or 10 minutes.
All right, cool.
And then it will just stand up and walk away.
Ash watches it. Like, okay, cat, got it. Lost interest.
Yep.
1 second. All right. So she kind of like carefully like she'll get up and walk and see where it goes.
It's just going to wander off. It is basically going to look for other members of the Sentai.
Okay. If it wanders off, she'll probably go meditate for a little while, being gnosis is needed back. And
unless you have anything else, or unless you want to try and track down Shu or something.
Yeah, well, that was actually my next question.
Yeah.
Down Zhu.
Okay. In that case, I will just switch pictures over. And, yeah. You'll be able to find Zhu.
Hello, Zhu.
Hello.
So, I just had an interesting encounter.
With a blue kitten?
She nods. Yes.
Yes, I was rather hoping to see you about that. And Fang and Adrena, we couldn't contact you via the phone because you don't have phones. So I thought this might be a good place to try and find you.
This is as good a place as any. Probably, you're right, the best place.
He seems to have taken an interest in Adam and in our Sentai. When he arrived back from wherever it was that she took him, he brought the spirit back with him.
Oh.
In
Okay.
in an opal, of all things.
This kitten came from an opal.
Yes, I picked up the opal and it uncurled in my hands into a kitten.
Ah. Maybe that explains all the smells on it. I don't know. It smelled like all kinds of things.
Well, I don't think that she is. I don't think that she is an ordinary cat spirit.
Sorry, can you repeat that? I didn't hear that.
I don't think that she is an ordinary cat spirit, to say the least.
Oh, definitely not.
Did she say much else?
She said that her name was Bast.
It seems appropriate. Bast is the goddess for whom the Bastet are named.
She nods. She didn't say much more other than her name. Mine claimed me.
She mentioned something about a deal,
And
but didn't really explain that much to me.
yes, she said it was a secret. That you, Adrena, Fang, and I needed to come to a decision on.
Yes. Of course, it is hard to come to a decision with no information.
It's true.
But I do not believe she would ask something of us which is to the detriment of Gaia, at least.
True.
So we can rule out anything that would be particularly harmful.
Also very true. I can't imagine it's anything small considering what the deal is. The original end of the deal, anyway, for return payment.
Cat spirits are not exactly like your ordinary totems. They very seldom are at the beck and call of their packs.
Right. Okay. So.
But for all that they come and go as they please, they can also be quite powerful when they choose to be.
In this instance, Karen being involved, I can see why it would want to be powerful. help here. There's a time limit, she said.
That's news to me, although it makes sense that we would want to deal with this matter as quickly as possible in order to keep the island safer.
She said 5 days.
5.
Yes, 5.
Samhain is in 6.
Repeat that, I'm sorry. The TV's on in the background.
Samhain is in 6. The day when the veil, the gauntlet, the walls between the worlds are at their thinnest.
Maybe that has something to do with it.
Hey,
It very well
you wouldn't
might.
let me in for some reason.
That is weird. You and Ashes are having a conversation near to the set.
Alright. And Fang is wrestling with a rabbit who's just refusing to go down and crashes in Latriani nearby.
Fang, have you seen a small blue kitten yet?
Fang is gonna, at the mention of that, Fang's gonna sit up and she's gonna scratch an ear for a moment, subtly looking around to make sure there aren't any mortals around, and then shift to Hamid. And at that, she's gonna say, "Yeah, as a matter of fact."
I came here to try and with you and Adrena because you don't have phones for easy communication. But it seems I did not arrive before our captain.
Fang's gonna crick her neck a bit, stand up fully, and say, "She claims to be the cat who walks by herself and all things are alike to her."
This makes sense.
She's a crazy powerful spirit, and she beat me in a mortal tricking contest. Barely, but she beat me in a mortal tricking contest.
Sorry, you're crackling again.
Sorry. Just barely, but she beat me in a mortal tricking contest.
Spirits have had a long time to work on their skills.
Yeah.
More time than us.
So, it appears that we do not all have the exact same information. I know that she returned with Adam after having taken him for his lessons, and that she unfurled herself from the form of a small bluish opal into her kitten form. And that she was interested in a deal. But I did not know about the time limit. And here she will gesture towards Ashes.
She said we have 5 days.
And Sam Hain is in sick. Seems unlikely to be a coincidence.
Fang will nod at that and is going to say, "She told me that she was looking for someone to do a gift, and it had to be a female."
She told me that as well. But there was an additional payment for that gift, which was a secret that one of us had to, you, myself, or Adrena had to pay back.
Of course, it is hard to decide which of us it should be when we do not know what this price is.
Ashes nods.
Fang will nod.
So we're on a limited time frame. And a decision has to be made, and we're missing Adrena on this one here.
So, that being said, as long as we do not decide that we will ask it of Adrena, there are 3 of the 4 of us here.
That is true.
If we agree, I think it's possible but unlikely that she will object should we not be able to get her opinion on the matter in time.
Correct.
Well, it might be one trickster to another, but I kind of like this spirit.
She is not, as most spirits are, but she does seem interesting.
She does seem interesting.
She reminds me a lot of Coyote.
She reminds me of Fox. Something tells me she does not remind you of Wolf.
No.
If it is what we all agree to be the best, I will take on this task. As much as I'm reluctant to agree to something without knowing what it is, the restrictions upon me as a kitsune are less than upon most of the children of Gaia.
Anyone would be hesitant of going into something that they're unaware of.
Other than
Especially if it's something that requires a certain sex or another.
Yes.
Yes.
That being said, my understanding is that the Garo have restrictions on who they may be with. I do not know enough about the Coyote to know that that is the case for you as well.
The Fang's gonna smirk a bit, and she's gonna say, Some who know of us and know of those restrictions give us a undeserved reputation for promiscuity. And she'll smirk and say, basically because we can't make metis, we're allowed to screw anybody.
Our metis, as you call them, are no different from any other kitsune. They can have children, they are beloved by the Emerald Mother. It is more trying raising them because they cannot change and they do not appear normal. That is the only difficulty with a kitsune mating with a kitsune, other than that they increase the likelihood, should they have children, that the kitsune parent will die. And that is only because both parents are kitsune.
Yeah. Fang will nod, and she'll say, if you insist on taking this burden, I will not insist on taking it from you. But I would like to let you know that I am willing.
I think we all are, if need be.
And Coyote does not put those restrictions that you're worried about on me.
Well, it is good that we will not have a shortage of volunteers. The question then is what rate? If all of us are willing, but none of us are determined to prevent the others from going forward, and none of us particularly enthusiastic about entering the unknown, it seems we're somewhat balanced.
Well, Fang's going to look at you, and she's going to say...
Sorry, you're crackling again.
One moment. Testing.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Fang's going to look at you, and she's going to say, you are, for lack of a better word, in charge. I don't think we have any kind of established hierarchy here, but you seem to be the wisest of us.
Ash nods in agreement. It's from what she knows so far, it's true.
Thank you. Perhaps I know that the spirit has said that it is up to us to choose, but it is possible that we could make that decision.
Out, and all I heard was the word decision.
Sorry. I said I know that it is up to us to choose, but if Bast has no objection, it may be possible to ask someone else to make that decision.
That's true.
Fang's gonna tilt her head a little bit, and she's gonna say, I'm not sure that the cat will appreciate us spreading the message around.
This is true.
also true.
So the question is, who could we get to make that decision without telling someone who doesn't already know the cat? Other than Adam, it just seems to be our Sentai.
Charlie? No?
Charlie is the member of our Sentai who cannot be.
Yeah, yep.
But unfortunately, James is not online. We can't ask Charlie right now.
Other than Adam, I don't think there's anyone we can tell.
They both sigh.
Well, I will not.
You're breaking up.
Sounded like you were underwater there.
Yep.
Well, I will not ask either of you to take this risk, even though you are willing. So, unless we find another way of making this decision, I will do what is needed of us.
Fang's gonna look at you, and she's gonna nod. She's gonna say, "Can I talk to you privately before you make that decision fully?"
She will nod.
All right. Fang will.
Glance to Ashes, somewhat apologetically. But we'll go over to speak to Fang.
Yeah. Fang will take her aside just a little bit. She's gonna say, "The cat seemed somewhat interested in your and Adam's relationship."
I have noticed that.
I think the cat is leading you into taking this. And I'm not going to say if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's a thing you should know.
The cat kept Adam from leaving my bed the other night. That was where he was deposited and in need of healing.
Fang will nod at that.
Harry, you practice again.
Fang will nod at that, and she'll just say, "I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing, because questioning the spirits
You're still correcting. Sorry.
I'm not going to say it's a good thing or a bad thing. Questioning the spirits is a bad thing. But they can be fickle sometimes, and tricksy, she'll say with a grin.
Yes. As long as that trickiness is on our side, and I think it likely to be.
Seems to be for now. And Fang will walk back towards the rest of the group, having said what she wanted to say in private.
Alright. Ash just looks at Fang and then glances briefly at Zhu.
It seems we have come to a decision. And whilst we should, of course, consult the other members of our Sentai when possible, I very much think that unless if there are any arguments against it, the decision can stand.
I don't have any arguments against it.
I'm not going to argue with you. You know this stuff better than I do. Spirit stuff. Sounds like.
It is always a mixed blessing to have a powerful spirit show an interest.
Indeed, indeed, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
But I very much think this will be for the best.
Or at least for the best.
Yes.
Yes.
Speaking of fast, I really need to find this places to steal.
He's on the island.
Should
Yes. Yes, he is. But he's looking to track down the convoy. AKA, Ian is always busy.
Always.
What we haven't realised is every time Zhu is there in the Umbra, he is in the real world. And every time Zhu is there in the real world, he's in the Umbra. And miraculously, they switch over at the same time.
It's all Cat's doing.
They're messy.
Well, it's not going to be anybody else's. But, unless we have anything else, is there anything else we want to discuss?
Not that I know.
Not that I'm aware of at the moment.
Then, the scene can come to a close.
Woo.